Okay, good morning. This is Plan C, right? I've been trying to record this for a little bit, but hopefully this time it works. I'm trying another method on the Chromebook instead of the MacBook Air. Here we go. We have a happy Wednesday to you, although it can't be too happy being asynchronous, right? I mean, you're going to miss your teachers. We miss you guys, right? Anyway, happy Wednesday to you. Do your best to have a happy Wednesday, and you will be happy at 3 o'clock if you finish all your work. So let's make that happen. You have a Pizzazz worksheet to do. This Pizzazz worksheet, you have to basically know how to do two different things, and they are called inverse operations. Okay, we'll talk about what inverse operations means. The inverse operation to addition is subtraction. The inverse operation to multiplication is division. The inverse operation to raising something to the second power with exponents is called a square root. You'll learn that later. All right, so these are inverse actions. What you have to know how to do is to change an improper fraction. Remember, that's a fraction where the numerator is bigger than the denominator, right? Or it's bigger than 1, right? Because if the numerator equaled the denominator, it would equal 1. Once that numerator is bigger, your fraction is bigger than 1. Okay, these are all improper fractions, these top numbers. Okay, and we're going to change those to mixed numbers. I'll show you how. And then on these bottom ones, you have mixed numbers. That's a whole number with a fraction, right? 2 wholes and 3/8, right? 1 whole and 5/7. These are all mixed numbers. They have whole numbers and fractions. Technically, you can have a mixed number be with a decimal, right? 3 and 3/100. Right? Or 6 and 2/10. Those are mixed numbers too, but we're talking about fractions today. Okay, now how do you change an improper fraction to a mixed number? Well, let's look at that. 9/4. All you have to do, and this is the answer to a few different things in math, divide the bottom into the top. So I have a 9/4 here, and I want to make that, see what that is, as a mixed number. I divide the denominator into the numerator, 4 into 9. 4 goes into 9 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. And now when you get that remainder, your remainder is going to come on top. Your divisor, the number that was on the bottom, will be on the bottom again. 2 and 1/4. Now, let's see what that looks like, right? Basically what you did here, and you'll see this in a video later, is you took those 2 whole pizzas and divided it into fourths, because we're talking about fourths here, right? And you had that one leftover piece of pizza, that fourth, right? So these 2 whole pizzas, that was 2 and 1/4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, 4/4 and 4/4, that's 1 whole, and 1/4 equals a total of 9/4. You had 9/4, and now you have 2 and 1/4. Okay, now how do you change? Let's do another one real quick. Okay, let's do the 14/8. Okay, 14/8, again, it's an improper fraction. Divide the bottom into the top. Okay, and 8 goes into 14 one time. And now I have a remainder of 6. Your remainder goes on top. Your divisor goes on the bottom. 1 and 6/8. Now, 6/8 you can simplify because both those numbers are even, right? 2 goes into 6 3 times and goes into 8 4 times. So that would simplify to 1 3/4. Make sense? Okay. All right. That's how you're going to do all these. You're going to divide the bottom into the top. So this whole entire top, right? You're going to divide the denominator into the numerator. You were teaching your 3rd grade sister how to do this. You say divide the bottom into the top. Okay? Divide the bottom into the top. Now, how about these where you have a mixed number and you want to change it to an improper fraction, 2 and 2/3. What we do here, think about those 2 wholes. If I'm talking about thirds with that 2, how many thirds would it be? Well, I have 3/3 and 3/3. That's a total of 6, right? Now, what's the shortcut for that? Well, you take the whole number and multiply it by that bottom number, the denominator. 2 times 3 is 6, right? And then you also have these extra 2/3 that we were talking about, and you add those. So 3 plus 3, or 2 times 3, plus the 2 equals a total of 8/3, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8/3. Now, the short way of doing that is we call it the C method. And you make your C by going to the bottom here and do it backwards, right? Clockwise, that's your C. And what you do is you times and plus. The denominator times the whole number, 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. That goes on top. The same number that was on the bottom goes on the bottom. Okay? The only time the number on the bottom changes is if you simplify later. So if I'm changing from improper fraction to mixed number, I'm not going to change the denominator. If I'm changing from mixed number to improper fraction, I'm not going to change the denominator unless you're going to simplify when you get done. All right, let's try another one. How about this hard one over here? 9 3/4. Again, let's think C method. Each of those 9 wholes is 4/4. I'm going to go 4 times 9. That's 36. Then add those other 3. 36 plus 3 is 39/4. Now, cool thing about learning both of these things is if you want to double check your work and get a little bit more practice, right? You can, right? These are inverse operations. Dividing the bottom into the top or using the C method should get me back where I started, right? So I have an improper fraction, 39/4. How do I change that to a mixed number? Divide the bottom into the top. 4 goes into 39 9 times, because 9 times 4 is 36. My remainder goes on top. Divisor goes on the bottom. Look at that. I started with 9 3/4. I went to 39/4. I'm back at 9 3/4. Okay, same thing here. Let's do another one of these, 40/11. That is an improper fraction. To change that to a mixed number, I divide the bottom into the top. How many 11s fit into 40? Not quite 4. 3, right? 3 times 11 is 33. My remainder goes on top. My divisor goes on the bottom. Same number on the bottom it was on the bottom. Now I have 3 and 7/11. You want to double check your work and get more practice. C method, right? 11 times 3 is 33. Plus 7 more is 40. Over what? Same thing as I started with. Look at that. Okay, you got that? Now, what did I forget to do at the very beginning of this? Get those easy 3 points. Don't be like me. Okay? All right. Have a great, as great as you can, asynchronous Wednesday, everybody. We will see you bright and early on Thursday.